Hello, my name is Kara Humphreys. I'm going to take a few minutes today to share a data overview of third graders at Reese Road Leadership Academy over the past 3 years. This presentation is meant for 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade teachers during data teams to take a closer look at student achievement using the Using Data process. We will examine the school background, purpose of the data, demographics of students and teachers, such as ethnicity, gender, and attendance for the past 3 years. We will compare student achievement data at RRLA to the district and state levels. We will also determine trends throughout the presentation of data and decide strengths and weaknesses that are observed. Inferences will be made to decide next steps. RRLA is a Title I school located in Columbus, Georgia, in Muskogee County School District. RRLA has 557 students enrolled. Reese Road Leadership is a magnet academy and also has a high enrollment of students with disabilities, with 2 specialized classrooms for students that have EBD. Reese Road Leadership encourages the use of Covey's 7 leadership habits, best practices, and technology to increase student achievement. According to the Reese Road Leadership Academy School Improvement Plan, language arts and reading are areas that need to be strengthened. The data in this presentation is intended to assist in planning using data for 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade teachers and the school administration team. The purpose of the data presented is intended to address the following SIP goal. 3rd graders will increase reading comprehension using concept mapping. Here are some guiding questions that will help us in determining achievement gaps, strengths, and weaknesses. What trends do you notice with student enrollment? Do you notice any achievement gaps? Which ethnic group performs the highest? Which subject do our students perform the best in? And what are some areas that are weak for our students? With the UDP, Using Data process, teachers are looking at multiple data points and determining trends. So first we will look at student demographics by ethnic groups at RRLA from the past 3 years. As you can tell, the demographics among ethnic groups has not changed very much. Our school is primarily made up of white and black students. We have a small population of Hispanic students, which has remained about the same since 2014-2015. Next, we will look at our students closer, honing in on low SES students, ELL students, and students with disabilities. Since 2015, our population of students with disabilities has decreased from 16.8% to 13.6% in 2017. The population of students receiving free and reduced lunch has also decreased from 100% to 70%. That is a large decrease in that area. The population of ELL students has decreased as well from 8% to 4%. A few years ago, our district was rezoned, sending students to different schools, so this may be a cause and change of population as it relates to subgroups. Now we're going to look at student demographics by gender. There has not been a significant change over the past 3 years with student enrollment except for an increase of students from 508 in 2015 and 557 in 2017. All 3 years, our data shows that we have more males enrolled than females. Now we will look at trends concerning student attendance at RRLA over the past 3 years. As you can see, the least amount of absences is in green right here. Our data shows that more students missed more than 15 days in 2017 than in 2014-15 and 2015-16. This could affect student achievement. Next, we will dive into teacher demographics at RRLA. Our teacher demographics have not changed much. RRLA is primarily made up of white teachers, although in 2017, our school had a more diverse population of teachers, having a few teachers that fell in the Hispanic and Asian ethnic groups. RRLA teachers are mostly female, which has stayed the same throughout the past 3 years. The next area of data we will look at is college and career readiness for RRLA, the district, and the state over the past 3 years. The first data point that stands out is the decrease in CCRPI at RRLA since 2014-15. Although we were able to bring our CCRPI up in 2016-17 from 68.8% to 72.4%. Over the past few years, we have gotten 4 new principals and 2 new assistant principals. The shift in administration could have an effect on these scores. Compared to the state and district, our CCRPI is about the same. Now we will look at aggregated data at the school, district, and state levels for students who are reading at or above grade level for 3rd grade. We can see from the graphs that the percentage of students meeting or exceeding grade level standards is slightly higher than that of the district, but comparable to the statewide data. This data has stayed consistent until year 3. Looking at year 3, the data at the school level has decreased and the district level has increased. In order to get a better picture of our school, and after looking at the CCRPI data and aggregated data, we are now going to take a closer look at student achievement data at RRLA. Since GMAS is relatively new to our students and teachers with less than 5 years of implementation, the amount of students performing at the developing and proficient levels seems to have increased in 2017 for language arts. Our district has also noticed a need for increased reading and language arts scores. So 2 years ago, our district adopted a program to increase Lexile called Achieve 3000. Math scores seem to have also increased based on the data presented, although our distinguished learners have decreased since 2014. Now we're going to focus on data by grade level. For 3rd grade, we can see that the amount of distinguished learners has had a dramatic decrease since 2014 in math and language arts. Although we've seen a major increase in the developing learners right here from 2015-16 school year for language arts and math. The first area that my eye normally goes to is the distinguished and proficient learners. Since 2014-15, the percentage of students performing in the distinguished area has increased for math and language arts, although the percentage of students performing at the beginning learner level has increased since 2014 for language arts. The percentage of developing and proficient learners has increased over the past 3 years for language arts, rising to 50% developing and 30% proficient for 5th graders. As a result, the data shows that the percentage of students in the beginning learner level has decreased in that area as well since 2014. The outcome of these results could be from the reading program, Achieve 3000, that has been put into place by the district. Now that we've seen an overview of data for grades 3 through 5, we're going to go a little deeper in our data collection. Now we're looking at language arts data from the past 3 years with the same group of students. This will allow us to pinpoint trends and generate reasons why there are increases and decreases within the data. By looking at the graph, we can see that the amount of students scoring in the beginning learner level from 2014 to 2017 has decreased. So the number of developing and proficient learners has increased, which is a good thing for us at RRLA. We need to work on getting our percentage of distinguished learners increased. Now that we've looked at 3 years of language arts data using the same group of students, we will disaggregate the data to see if subgroups have changed, which could be a contributing factor in increases and decreases over the past 3 years. In 2014-15, there were not any distinguished ELL students according to the GMAS data. But in 2015-16, the amount of ELL increased to 75% of beginning learners. This must be incorrect data because according to the demographics recorded by the state, our school had students that were considered ELL learners during that school year. This is an example of why data can be misleading unless looking at all parts, because by only reviewing one part of the data, you may think there is an achievement gap between ELL students versus students with disabilities and low SES students. By looking at the other data on the graph, we can see that the amount of students with disabilities performing at the proficient level has decreased since 2014-15. After looking at this data and comparing it to the achievement data, there doesn't seem to be an effect on student performance. We have reviewed GMAS ELA data by looking at subgroups, so now we will go even further to look for achievement gaps between race and ethnic groups. The data shown is from the school year 2016-17 for 3rd through 5th grade students. If we look to the chart on the right, we can see that only the yellow and the green are areas performing at or above grade level, which is about 30% of our students. With that information given, we can see that the highest percent of students performing at or above grade level for ELA is within the multiracial ethnic group with 58%, and the next highest group falls in the Hispanic ethnic group with 40%. So this area right here this is a larger view of that area. This is for the whole school. From this information, we can also conclude that there are some gaps among the white and black students with a 20% difference. The white students are 46% and black is 26%. You may be asking yourself, what does all of this mean? After carefully looking at the data presented, we can determine a few things. First, the percentage of students performing at the beginning level learner from 2014 to 2017 has decreased for language arts, which means the percentage of students performing at the developing and proficient level learners has increased for language arts, which is a strength for RRLA. Scores were not affected by subgroups based on the 3-year data, but there has been some incorrect data that was recorded by the state concerning our ELL students in 2014. Another strength that we can conclude from the data is that Achieve 3000 has benefited our students in increasing language arts and reading scores. Next year will be the 3rd year of implementation, and hopefully our students will do even better. Since our principal has made 3rd through 5th grade departmentalized, I believe that has also helped our teachers in differentiation. A weakness that needs to be addressed through differentiation is the achievement gaps that exist between ethnic groups and multiracial groups, and Hispanics performing the highest. Now, what can we do to improve student achievement in language arts and reading this school year? While looking at the data can be overwhelming, we can use the UDP to help us hone in on one problem area. Our school improvement plan wants us to look closely at increasing achievement in language arts and reading. After reviewing the data and determining weaknesses and strengths, we can decide what steps to take next. We realize that we need to increase the amount of students in the proficient and distinguished areas and also incorporate more differentiation among ethnic groups to address possible achievement gaps, which can be done through technology and Web 2.0 tools. This data tells me a few things. First, we need to determine our bubble students. Then we need to implement strategies to differentiate instruction. We should be doing guided reading and close reading to work on comprehension skills. At the beginning of the school year, you should be looking at your students' level set to see the areas of weaknesses and strengths to determine what group to put them in for your literacy block. The level set will also give you your students' lexile. This will be a good starting point to determine what your strengths what your students need, and we need to keep a close watch on students that are performing at the beginning level and begin the SST process if needed. If these students are not improving, please contact me or a learning specialist to get additional interventions. Thank you for your time, and we will review Classroom Achieve 3000 data at our next meeting.